Why does God feel closer to other people than to me? You have watched other people talk about God and wondered what they have that you don't. Not with envy exactly, more with a quiet, tired confusion. They speak about him like he is near. Like prayer is a conversation that goes both ways. Like his presence is something they actually feel. Like faith is not a constant effort but something closer to breathing. Natural, effortless, real in a way that yours has never quite felt, and you have tried. You have done the things they say to do. You have read and prayed and shown up and waited. And what comes back most of the time is not warmth or nearness or the sense that someone is listening. What comes back is quiet, just quiet. And the question underneath all the trying, the one you have been careful not to say too directly because it feels dangerous, is this: why does God feel closer to other people than to me? What is wrong with me that I can't seem to get there? This reflection is for that question. And I want to start by saying something clearly. Nothing is wrong with you. The performance we were never asked to give. Here is something the church does not always say clearly enough. The felt sense of God's presence, the emotional experience of nearness, warmth, certainty, is a gift, not an achievement. It is not produced by doing the right things in the right order with enough consistency. It is not the reward for sufficient spiritual discipline. It is given, freely, unpredictably, sometimes in seasons of great faithfulness, and sometimes to people who have barely tried, and sometimes withheld from people who have given everything. The Puritans called it the sensible presence of God, and they were remarkably honest about the fact that it comes and goes. Thomas Goodwin wrote about seasons of divine withdrawal, times when God, for reasons of his own sovereign wisdom, withholds the felt sense of his nearness in order to produce something in his people that comfort alone cannot build, not because he is moved, but because he is doing something that requires the dark. What you are experiencing is not evidence that you are doing faith wrong. It may be evidence that God trusts you with a harder and deeper form of it. What you are actually seeing when others seem closer. There is something important to understand about the people who seem to have easier access to God's presence. You are seeing a moment. You are not seeing their 3 a.m. You are not seeing the seasons they don't talk about, the dry months, the years of silence, the prayers that felt like nothing. You are seeing the highlight of their faith and comparing it to the interior of yours. And that comparison was never going to be fair. Charles Spurgeon, one of the greatest preachers in the history of the church, a man whose words have brought countless people to faith, suffered from severe depression for most of his adult life. He wrote about seasons so dark that he could not feel God at all. He preached to thousands while privately drowning, and he is not the exception. He is the pattern. The people whose faith looks effortless from the outside are almost never experiencing it that way from the inside. Faith is hard for everyone who takes it seriously. The ones who seem closest to God are often the ones who have simply learned to keep going when it doesn't feel like anything. You are doing that right now. You just don't have the language for it yet. The nearness that doesn't depend on feeling. James 4:8. Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. That verse is sometimes read as a transaction. Do the thing, get the feeling. But the drawing near being described here is not primarily emotional. It is directional. It is the orientation of your life toward God. The turning, the returning, the continued choosing of him, even when the choosing produces nothing you can feel. And the promise is not that you will feel him draw near. The promise is that he will. Those are not the same thing. He may draw near in ways that are completely invisible to your emotional experience, working in the details of your life, holding things together that you don't even know are being held, preparing something you won't see until later. His nearness is not contingent on your ability to perceive it. It is contingent on his character, and his character does not change with your emotional weather. If this question has been sitting in you quietly for a long time, if you have wondered whether you are the only one who can't seem to feel what everyone else seems to feel, hit the like button. It takes 1 second, and it tells this channel to keep making space for the honest questions, the ones that don't have easy answers. Subscribe to Whisper of Grace and turn on notifications. Every week, a new reflection, for the ones who are still trying, even when the trying feels like nothing. Why does God feel closer to other people than to me? The dark night and what it produces, John of the Cross, the 16th century Spanish mystic, whose writing has shaped Christian spirituality for 500 years, described what he called the dark night of the soul, a season in which the soul is stripped of every consolation, every felt sense of God's presence, every emotional support that faith had previously offered, and left in what feels like pure darkness. He did not describe it as spiritual failure. He described it as spiritual surgery. The dark night, in his understanding, is what happens when God is weaning the soul off its dependence on spiritual feelings and training it to rest in something deeper, in naked faith, in pure trust, in the kind of knowing that does not require emotional confirmation to remain stable. The soul that has been through the dark night and stayed, that kept reaching, even when the reaching felt like nothing, comes out the other side with a faith that is no longer dependent on how it feels. And that faith is stronger, quieter, and more unshakable than anything that comfort alone could have produced. You may be in the dark night right now, not because God has abandoned you, because He is doing something in you that requires the dark to do it. God's presence in the ordinary. We have been conditioned to look for God in the extraordinary, in the moment of breakthrough, in the answer to the prayer, in the feeling of warmth in worship, or the sudden clarity that arrives after long confusion. But the testimony of Scripture is that God is more consistently present in the ordinary than in the extraordinary, in the daily bread, in the small mercies, in the fact that you woke up this morning and the day began and the world continued and you are still here. Lamentations 3:22-23. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies never come to an end. They are new every morning, every morning. Not every dramatic morning. Not every morning where something significant happens. Every morning, including the ordinary ones, the flat ones, the ones that feel like nothing. His mercy arrived with this morning. Whether you felt it or not, the presence of God is not always felt, but it is always real. And learning to trust its reality in the absence of feeling is one of the deepest forms of faith a person can develop. You are developing it right now, in the quiet, in the waiting, in the ordinary mornings that don't feel like anything. What the disciples didn't recognize. Luke 24. 2 disciples were walking to Emmaus after the crucifixion, devastated, certain that everything was over, and a stranger joined them on the road and walked with them for hours, explaining the Scriptures, opening their understanding, warming something in them that they couldn't quite name, and they did not know it was Jesus. They walked with Him for hours and did not recognize Him, not because He was hidden from them, because their grief had changed the shape of what they were looking for. They were looking for the Jesus who had died. They didn't know how to see the Jesus who had risen. He was there the whole time, present, walking beside them. Their inability to perceive Him did not make Him absent. He is walking beside you, in the season where you cannot feel Him, in the questions you are carrying, in the road that seems to be going nowhere. He is there. And one day, like the disciples at Emmaus when He broke the bread, something will open, and you will look back at this road and see that He was on it with you the entire time. Were not our hearts burning within us while He talked with us on the road? Your heart may already be burning in ways you don't yet have words for. To the one who has been trying, you have not failed at faith because it doesn't feel the way other people describe it. You have been faithful in the hardest possible form, the form that requires no emotional reward, no felt confirmation, no sense that the effort is producing anything. That is not lesser faith. That is the faith that the writer of Hebrews described as the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, not felt, not confirmed, not rewarded with the experience you were hoping for, believed, trusted, held on to, with tired hands, in the dark, without the feeling that makes it easier. That is what you have been doing. And it is not nothing, it is the thing. Before we close, if you know someone who has been quietly wondering why God feels far, someone who compares the inside of their faith to the outside of everyone else's, send this to them. No explanation needed, just send it. And if you want to keep finding this kind of reflection, honest, unhurried, for the real questions, subscribe to Whisper of Grace. New reflections every week, for the ones who are still reaching, even when the reaching feels like nothing. He is not closer to them. He is not closer to the people whose faith looks easier than yours. He is omnipresent, equally, completely, fully present to every person who has ever turned toward him. What you're experiencing is not distance. It is the silence of someone who is very near and very quiet, doing something in you that does not announce itself. Draw near. Keep drawing near, not because you will immediately feel the distance close. You may not, but because he promised. And he has never broken a promise. He is near. He has always been near, even here, even now, even in the quiet that feels like nothing, with grace, whisper of grace.